In the skies over Europe during World War II, one fighter stood above the rest, the P-51 Mustang. It was fast, agile, and deadly, and it became a guardian angel for the Allied bombers and a terror to the Axis pilots. Today, we're telling the story of the P-51 Mustang, nicknamed the Flying Dutchman, and the young American ace who flew into combat, Bob Goble. The North American P-51 was one of World War II's quintessential fighters, long-range escort that could accompany the heavy bombers deep into enemy territory, still outfight the Luftwaffe. It was powered by a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine and armed with 6 50 caliber machine guns. It combined speed, range, and firepower like no other fighter. But individual Mustangs often became more than just aircraft. They became symbols of the men who flew them. One of the most celebrated of these was the P-51D5NA serial 44-13500, affectionately known as the Flying Dutchman, piloted by Robert J. Goble. Bob Goble, born February 28, 1923 in Racine, Wisconsin, was just 19 years old when he joined the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II. After earning his wings in 1943, he flew fighters in Panama Canal before being assigned to the 31st Fighter Group, 308th Fighter Squadron in Italy. Goble transitioned into the P-51 at a moment when air superiority over Europe was fiercely contested. His primary mission became escort duty for the heavy bombers of the 15th Air Force, ensuring that bombers reached their targets over Nazi-occupied Europe and made it home safely. Between May and August of 1944, Goble flew 61 combat missions in the Mediterranean theater in a remarkable 91-day period. He was credited with 11 enemy aircraft destroyed, earning him the rare status of a double ace, a feat achieved by only a small percentage of fighter pilots. His leadership was equally impressive. By age 21, he had already been named captain, led his squadron of 16 Mustangs into combat 7 times, and twice led an entire group of 48 fighters into battle. The Flying Dutchman, painted in its distinctive markings, became a symbol with its combat success and daring skills over the skies of Europe. I was lucky enough to be a young kid around the Louisville, Kentucky area when Norm Lewis owned the Flying Dutchman, and I would frequently be able to see him as I worked at Vintage Fighters in Sellersburg, Indiana for a short time. And I got to see Norm Lewis, and I got to see the Flying Dutchman fly a lot, and got to meet Bob Goble, who is a very nice guy. It's an amazing thing that these things still fly. An unusual paint scheme for the time, but I do love it. During that time at Clark County Airport in Sellersburg, Indiana, Charles Osborne would have the Flying Air Show, which I believe was called Aviation Heritage Air Show. Had a lot of Mustangs, and a lot of these could be seen, which is pretty cool. For his extraordinary courage and success, Goble was awarded some U.S. Army's highest honors, including the Silver Star, the Distinguished Flying Cross, air medals with multiple oak leaf clusters, recognized his valor and consistency in combat. These decorations highlighted not just his skill as a pilot, but also his devotion to the mission and his comrades in arms. After returning to the States in September of 1944, Goble didn't immediately hang up his flight gear. He continued serving with the Wisconsin Air National Guard and later rejoined active duty during the early Cold War. He earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in physics in 1948, served high-level assignments with the Air Force, and even contributed to the Gemini space program before retiring as a lieutenant colonel in 1966. In 1991, Goble published his memoir, Mustang Ace, Memoirs of a P-51 Fighter Pilot, sharing first-hand accounts of the Flying Dutchman against the Axis Air Force. I've read it. It's a fantastic book if you can find it. It's a little pricey because the print is low, but absolutely worth it. And in this picture here, the plane was idolized. It's in flight simulators as a skin that you can fly and models all over the world, as well as still flying P-51 Mustang. The P-51 Mustang remains one of the most revered aircraft in aviation history. But like Bob Goble gives it a human legacy, his courage, skill, and dedication reminded us of the young men who risked everything for freedom. Looking back at these old World War II pictures, my grandpa flew, not combat, but was a pilot during the time he never saw action. And it amazes me how these 19-year-old guys, men, just jumped in these planes and went and fought for our country. The greatest generation is slipping by us every day, and they're almost extinct. That's why this channel exists, is to remember the greatest channel and the machines they fly. Me personally, I love airplanes. I've been around airplanes my whole life. It's my life ambition to be a pilot. I've never reached out to be that. I tried, but youth got in the way. So this is my dedication to the men and the women who flew these. As the channel goes on, we hope to highlight more people like Bob Goble and the men and women who flew all the aircraft during World War II. Still to this day, amazes me. People would leave their jobs just to fight for the country and do what was right. Lieutenant Bob Goble is an American hero, and I can't give enough appreciation for him. If you enjoyed this look into the Flying Dutchman and Bob Goble's story, please think about hitting that like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what your favorite Mustang is, if you liked the video or anything else.